Greetings, everyone. Well, continuing on with our look at some of my super deluxe box sets of stuff, I thought today we would take a look at yet another of Warner's Anniversary Edition Ultimate Collections, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I know it's one that you guys have been asking about a fair amount, and again, I showed it briefly in an update, and I've been meaning to do a closer look, and that's right now, today, here, now, on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Alrighty, so this time around, we have 1971's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, starring the inimitable Gene Wilder in the title role. Now this, like the Ben-Hur set, is also a limited numbered edition. This time around, it is limited to 100,000, of which mine is number 47,850, so almost halfway through the run right there. But again, while it is nice to have low numbers, I don't go out of my way to get them. I'm quite happy simply to have the edition in question. So this one, unlike the Ben-Hur set that actually just had, all the contents printed on the back of the gigantic slipcover, this one actually does have a wraparound, which normally looks like that and goes on the back. But if we take it off, oh, look at all the candy and pictures and stuff. That's awesome. So yeah, definitely incentive to take the wraparound off. But if you get a closer look at it here, you can get sort of a quick look at what all the contents are. It's definitely a nice set. Honestly, I'm not overly thrilled with some of the pack-ins, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So here we go. In terms of the on-disc extras, we have the 1971 movie classic in eye-popping 1080p high definition on Blu-ray. One thing it does not mention here is it does also come with a digital copy and the DVD version. Maybe not a digital copy. I'm not sure. Anyway, it at least comes with the DVD version, so you can make your own digital copy from that. I think one of the reasons they do that for this one is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory obviously is one that a lot of kids enjoy. So having the DVD copy makes it a little bit easier to share it with the kiddies without them having to touch your nice shiny Blu-ray version. Yeah, so that's kind of understandable why they did it in this particular case, whereas they have not with their other Ultimate Editions. Then we have a documentary, Pure Imagination, the story of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Commentary track with the Wonka kids. Yes, most of the actors who played the kids actually came back to do a special commentary track for this edition, which is quite nice. You got 4 sing-along songs, a vintage 1971 featurette, and a theatrical trailer. And then there's an additional DVD with even more extras. You've got Mel Stewart's Wonka Vision, a new interview with the movie's director, and a World of Pure Imagination, a recently rediscovered archival featurette, including an interview with original author Roald Dahl. And so that's pretty cool. You actually get some of the thoughts of the original author of the story. I have actually read the original book back when I was a kid. In that case, it was called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, so they changed the title of the movie slightly to make Willy Wonka more front and center, because obviously he is a big focus of the movie. But the original was just Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and then the sequel was actually Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, which I also read. And apparently they were planning to do the second one, but for various reasons, which they go into in the documentaries, it just never happened. It just wasn't possible to do it, and stuff like that. So let's crack this sucker open and take a look inside. Now this one, you may be wondering, well, how the heck do you get into it? Quite simply, actually. It opens from the bottom. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So then we have, first and foremost, this is one of the big reasons to get the set right here. We have this beautiful softcover book, Pure Imagination, The Making of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now let's take a quick peek inside here. Loaded with photos and behind the scenes goodies. This is a really, really nice book. There we go. You got Charlie getting the giant Wonka bar and the Oompa Loompas. So lots of behind-the-scenes stuff, which is really cool. You even get some script extracts, some info about the casting of the various kids and all the other characters. And yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. There's a lot actually about the factory floor, like the main sort of candy room there. They talk about that quite a bit, sort of what the different flowers are made out of, the chocolate river and stuff like that. So pretty cool indeed. There you go. So just a little taste, but it's quite a, you know, it's a good sized book. A lot of info in there. So you're probably, sorry, I'll just set this down here. Probably seeing this. You get the golden ticket right there. But here's the thing: is it's not just the golden ticket. It's actually a prize entry thing for like an online contest. It would have been, honestly, I would have been happy if it was just this, just a reproduction of the golden ticket, without it being cheapened by being made into a contest. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of nice to have, just because. And then this, I think, is actually one of the coolest pack-ins right here. First off, we have a big, long reproduction of the contract. And inside, we have all kinds of goodies. Reproductions of studio notes. And here we actually get the actual invitation to find the golden ticket from Mr. Willy Wonka himself. And then we have proposed cast. These are some actors they were considering for the role of Willy Wonka. Just to give you some idea, some actors that they were considering: Jimmy Cagney, Danny Kaye, Ron Moody, Peter Sellers. He could have been interesting. Ray Bolger, who of course played the Scarecrow in Wizard of Oz. Gene Wilder, right in the middle of the list. He wasn't even the top of the list. Richard Attenborough, Cyril Richard, Gene Kelly, Spike Milligan. Oh my God, Spike Milligan was kind of like the Weird Al Yankovic of his day. He did a lot of comedy songs and stuff, and was quite a loony himself. So he would have been an interesting choice. Harry Sacombe, Michael Bentine, Donald Pleasance. Oh my God, can you imagine Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis, as Willy Wonka? Of course, he had a reputation for playing weird, crazy characters and such. So I can kind of see where they're coming from on that. And finally, Maurice Chevalier. Well, we of course know who got the role in the end, but we actually have a whole bunch of reproductions of studio notes and letters. The original congratulations letter sent to Gene Wilder about getting the role, and talking about some more stuff. Here we go. Reproduction of a handwritten letter, several pages, by Gene Wilder himself, in which he talks about his thoughts on the initial costume designs for the character. And in that, he gives his own ideas on what the costume should be like and how it would relate to his portrayal of the character. So all kinds of great rarities and goodies and insights there. Definitely a treat for any fan of the film, and for anyone interested in a little bit more obscure info about the behind the scenes of making a movie like this. So next up we have, you might be looking at this one here, we have a Wonka Bar. Oh my God, but it's not actually a Wonka Bar. What this is a pencil case. Yeah, honestly, I mean, as cool as this is, I thought it was a really odd choice for a pack-in. So you have 4 scented pencils here and a chocolate scented eraser. And there you go. So that's kind of an odd pack. I thought it was a completely random thing to include. Like, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so then here we have a half-eaten Wonka Bar. There we go. Which is actually, oh, yeah, same ad that was in the Ben-Hur set. And yes, I have all 3 of those. I find that they give you an ad. I find they give you an ad for the set that you actually have in your hand. It's like, yeah, I already got it. So then a little bit more unwrapped. And if we go inside, it's actually 3 discs. So you have the Blu-ray here, the DVD here, and additional special features there. And there you go. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So quite a nice set. I know one of the big questions some of you will probably have is this a different transfer than the lovely Digibook edition that came out a few years ago? Annetta, my ex, actually used to have the Digibook edition, and it was quite nice. I almost considered getting that as well, simply because it was such a gorgeous looking Digibook. But I think pretty much everything that was covered in the book portion of that is more than covered in this massive book here. So it would be kind of redundant. But the answer to that question is sadly no. It is not a different transfer. It is the same transfer, which I guess isn't really a bad thing because it was a pretty nice transfer to begin with. So it looks like they just did a straight port over and added some new extras, and then of course all the pack-in material here. So it all kind of fits together quite nicely. There's actually a little lip underneath there for it to slide in, and then then I usually just put the golden ticket on top of the studio notes there. Just kind of tuck it under that little lip, and then finally a nice home for the book. And that's that. And that's pretty much it. There you go. That is the 40th anniversary limited collector's edition Blu-ray set of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Rosie really wants to see this movie, so I think I'm going to show it to her fairly soon. I think I saw it originally when I was around her age, so I think it'll be a lot of fun. And besides, Daddy will be right next to her to, you know, comfort her during the sad and scary parts, as I always am. It's part of a daddy's job, you know. But, yeah, so I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I think she's already seen most of it anyway. I'm pretty sure she's watched a lot of it with Annetta. But, yeah, great stuff. I forget what I paid for it. I don't think it was terribly expensive. It was on sale for like $40, if I remember correctly. And I think online, sometimes you can find it for even less. I've heard of some people finding it for like $20, $25. So, yeah. So grab it if you want it, because chances are you can find it cheap. And it's definitely worth having, especially if you don't have any other edition. Yeah. So that is it from me to you for now. Until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.